What's up, backyard bass fans? Alright, today we are actually going to go over some of my personal favorite baits for pitching and flipping into grass mats, and even kind of the Texas rig style. I know it's fall going into winter, but around where I live we still have a lot of lakes that have a lot of grass mats in it and kind of keep them all the way, through most of the year. So I still do quite a bit of that. So we're going to go over that and we'll see what you guys think. But first of all, if you guys are liking the content on these videos, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you're liking all of it and everything else and you're already subscribed, make sure you're smashing that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Alright guys, so today I'm going to kind of go from the more aggressive baits that I typically use when I'm first starting off to figure out what these fish are really wanting and stuff like that. And then we'll kind of trend down to maybe my lower profile baits or stuff that doesn't have a lot of action. So first bait off the bat is going to be the Rage Crawl. This bait all around has been probably one of my top favorite baits for years. It works great on a punching setup. It works great on a Texas rig just by itself. I'll show you guys here. Get one out. So this is the Rage Call here. Hopefully that'll focus in real good. Get it calmed up there. So as you guys can see, the Rage bait is known for its little flanges there on the end of it that have a lot of kicking action to them. It's a pretty low profile body. It's a slim body there. It's not real big or nothing like that. But all around is a great bait to be throwing with. I typically tell a lot of people that are starting off, just starting to fish or starting to flip around brush and stuff like that and get comfortable with, this is a great bait to start off with. It constantly gets bit. It always performs well. And I don't ever really have any issues with hookup ratios or anything like that. It has a ton of action to it too. So right off the bat, that's going to be one of my top favorite baits. My next one to kind of fit that profile there, to stick with that, is actually going to be the Googans, the Crack and Crawl. This bait here, just like the Rage Crawl there, these things, they're not too different really. I'll kind of show you here a little bit. The one thing is different is the very top of it. Is the focus here? The very top of it doesn't have the rounded top. It's a little bit longer body through here, which doesn't really affect much except for when you put your hook into it. Your hook's going to stay a little bit higher up into the body on this thing, which isn't a bad thing. It's just you're going to want a little bit better quality of fish biting this, because they're going to have to take that whole thing in to get to that hook. So, if you're around a bunch of small fish and you're constantly missing, hook sets and stuff like that, you might want to trim. Just go down to this first, if you can see right here, it's got one notch here and one notch here. You can actually trim that top notch off, and then you'll actually have a little bit smaller profile bait there. Just like the Rage bait, you can see on this thing, it's got the flanges on there. These are actually triple the size on the flanges. These things have a ton of movement to them. They really work well. I know there's a lot of guys out there that aren't all for the Googan guys or the Googan baits, but I'm telling you, I don't support the guys. I have nothing against the guys at all, but I will tell you firsthand, their soft plastics are phenomenal. I have had no issues with them. They catch a ton of fish, and that's just all there is to it. Anybody wants to argue that point, more power to them, but I'm telling you, they catch fish and that's it. So on from there, we're going to go with another Googan bait, which is the Bandido Bug. This bait here, when they first came out, this was the first one I ordered, was the Bandido Bug. And I can tell you guys, like I said, I don't support the Googans. I have nothing against them, but I'm telling you, the baits are awesome. This Bandido Bug is absolutely killer. You guys can see all that. Hopefully it'll focus in. With the 4 appendages up here, and then the long claws down here, and these claws, you can see, do have big flanges on them. They have a ton of action, and for a creature bait, you're not going to beat it. I'm telling you, these things are awesome. I actually caught my my PB on it this year, which was a little over 7 pounds, almost 7.5, somewhere around there. Did it have to do with what bait it was throwing? Nah, not really, but it was one that I had started off with this year with the Googan Bandido Bug, and got confidence in that bait within probably 2 weeks. It was that good. But as far as like pitching into grass mats and stuff like that, guys, these are all baits that go through very, very easily. They have no problems with hooking up anywhere or getting caught on grass and stuff like that. I don't have any issues with that at all. So the next bait is actually going to be probably one of my top favorite baits. Like I said before, the Rage Crawl was one of my top favorite baits, and I didn't think I'd ever replace that. But I can tell you, the Biospawn Vowel Crawl, this bait here, the plastic's a lot more durable. It has about the same action. It's got a little bit bigger profile to it than what the Rage Crawl does. It's in between a crawl and a beaver style bait. I'll show you guys here. You know, that is the Vol Crawl there. You can see it has just big flanges down there. It also has, when you pull these apart, that's 3 different appendages. So it's got a ton of action down there. It, you know, flaps through the water real good. You can actually swim these too. But like I said before, the plastic on these is a lot more durable than most. I will tell you that. Like I said, that's probably one of my top favorite baits as far as soft plastics go that I've seen in a long time. Like I said, I didn't think I'd replace that Rage Crawl, but I'm telling you, that Vowel Crawl, it did it for me. That's definitely one of my top favorites. So on from there, guys, this next one I'm going to show you. A lot of guys are not big into throwing bigger baits when they're flipping into grass mats and stuff like that around cover. But the new Googan's Trench Hog, this is a lot bigger bait, a lot longer bait, but it has tremendous action. I'll pull one of these guys out here for you. Now, a lot of guys said, oh, that's just the brush hog. Dude, guys, I'm telling you, it is not the brush hog by far. Show you guys here. You know, this is the Trench Hog. You can see there, it's got really long appendages. I think the appendages are probably close to 2.5, 3 inches just themselves. It has 2 separate ones on each side here. It's got a real long, slender body, which actually reminds me of something like a swim bait or even a Cinco or something like that. But then once you get the appendages on it, it's a whole different new bait. These appendages have a ton of kicking action to them. They got big flanges on them here. You can see that there. But that bait, just alone on a Texas rig, is killer. But I do love throwing this thing on punching grass mats and stuff like that. This bait is typically not one that's been seen a whole lot yet. So, you know, if you guys are going to a new lake, and you guys, I know everybody's skeptical about buying new baits. But if you see something out there that doesn't look like anything else that anybody else has been throwing, give it a try. Just due to the simple fact that, you know, bass are going to go after something they haven't seen. Throw something different. That's what will get you those bigger bites sometimes, and get you more bites sometimes. If you go to a pond that everybody's throwing a Cinco in or throwing a spinnerbait in, you know, go over there with something different. Go with a Rage Crawl, or go with a rattle trap, or something like that. Something that's different. Different profile, maybe a different sound. Anything like that will actually get you bigger and better bites and more bites. So keep that in mind, you know, when you're going to a new place or something you haven't fished, or somewhere you have fished for years. Try throwing something different. It will make a difference, I'm telling you. So on from there, like I said, those are most of my bigger action baits there. If the bite's getting pretty finicky or something like that, then I'm going to step down. I'm going to go something with less action. First off, it's going to be the Missile D-Bomb. The Missile D-Bomb is going to be one of my go-to baits. I've thrown this thing for a long time. You can see the flanges on. There's no flanges on it. It's just a flat flapper. It's got 2 little appendages here on the side. They're a little bit thicker. But overall, this bait does not have a ton of action at all. And when you get those finicky fish, this is the bait that I typically go to. As far as durability, you're talking about the same as like a Rage product or something like that. You know, it's a pretty soft product. It's got ribs that go all the way down it here. They're very, very soft. But it does get bit and they don't let go of it too often, I can tell you that. So that's a very, very good bait to be throwing. Second up from that is actually going to be the Pit Boss from Havoc. You can see on this one it does not have any flanges on those flappers at all, or the appendages. It's a pretty slender body, a little bit wider. Does have a good nice slit in the back for the hook keeper to keep it from getting weedless there. Overall, it's a great bait. Like I said, I've used them for years, have a ton of success on them. But you know, guys, go out and, like I said, you can use these on Texas rigs too. They work very well. So another one that I actually forgot a while ago that I use, and I'll show you guys this. I don't typically throw this as much punching grass mats or so much of a Texas rig style so much, but that's going to be the net bait, the pack-a-crawl. This is a hollow body in here. It actually has got air in there. So when you throw this in, and typically what I like to do on this is I throw this on a shaky head or something like that, especially in like small creeks and rivers. The bass just hate this thing because it stands up. When you throw it in there, these actually stand up with the claws in the air like this and just sit there and wobble back and forth, and it just drives those bass crazy because they think it's a crawdad or, you know, a mud bug or whatever you guys want to call it where you're at, you know, just tormenting them there. So it absolutely gets tore up. You can see it's got a little bit bigger. They're not, you know, flanges on the end of them, but they're a little bit thicker claws at the end. So they do have a little bit of action, not a ton of action. If I'm in really, really, really light grass or maybe some real light brush piles and stuff like that, and I want something that's a little bit different, like I said, from what everybody else is throwing, that's when I go to this. Then it works very, very well. They don't typically see that crawl type bait standing up and facing at them. So a lot of times that'll get bit, and that's usually what it takes to get that bite. So guys, that's all my baits for today that I have. Like I said, going over, you know, different various baits of the different styles of how aggressive the flappers are to, you know, just a regular bait that just kind of sinks down, doesn't have a whole lot of action at all. So if you guys like today's stuff, you know, I'll link everything down in the description below with all the links to everything. Make sure you smash that thumbs up, and we'll see you guys again next time.